Homecoming week kicked off with comedian Drewski appearing at the Student Center Ballroom as festivities begin this weekend.
Kent State's homecoming football game is this weekend. Find out who the Flashes take on and when to go to Dick's Stadium.
A Harry Potter and Downton Abbey star actress has died at 89. More details to come.
Thousands are displaced in Lebanon while the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah escalates as Kstv News starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining us at Kstv News at 5. I'm Michael Neenan.
And I'm Tyler Schlosser.
Well, the newly completed Crawford Hall had its grand opening ceremony today.
And our very own Jillian Flack was there to tell us how it went. Hi, Jillian.
Hey guys, after 2.5 years of construction, Kent State debuted Crawford Hall to staff and community members. Today, staff and students celebrated the official grand opening of Crawford Hall in a ceremony with speakers and music.
Well, I mean, the ceremony was a lovely conclusion to a really important project.
The plans to build Crawford Hall started about 10 years ago and construction began over 2 years ago.
Students I've talked to are all unanimous in their appreciation for this learning space.
The event recognized the donors who made it possible, more specifically, the Crawford family.
This building would not be here if it weren't for the generosity of our donors and the Crawford family and Ambassador Crawford in particular. So it was really a fitting conclusion to a massive, important, impactful project.
Students got to start classes in this building when the semester began last month.
And yet, we were able to get it done. And now we have this amazing place for our students to study and learn.
Crawford Hall is the largest academic building at Kent State and even features a dining option called the Commerce Cafe. I'm Jillian Flack reporting for KSTV. Tomorrow, there will be tours of the building available to the public. For Kent Stater TV News, I'm Jillian Flack.
Yesterday night, Drewski came to Kent State for a live recording of Coulda Been Records for the university's homecoming performance. While attendance was plentiful, it seemed that the event was hard-pressed for auditions, causing Drewski to post a direct request for students to sign up alongside a deadline extension all the way up until the day before the show.
Kent State Homecoming kicks off tomorrow morning with the Homecoming Parade on Main Street from 10:30 to 11:30. Later on is Kiss at the K at 1 o'clock, where Golden Flashes who fell in love at Kent State meet at Risman Plaza. Other events include book signings by KSU alum Erica Parker and local author Nicole Ryan at the KSU bookstore, as well as homecoming tours of the Kent State Museum.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Now, of course, one of the main events for homecoming is always that Golden Flashes football team.
Sports correspondent Gage Wellman is here to tell us a little bit more about the game. What can you tell us, Gage?
Tyler, I would say there's a certain air of urgency among the campus, among the coaching staff to get this season rolling. The Flashes, of course, started 0-4 with some pretty embarrassing losses to Penn State, Tennessee, the St. Francis Red Flash, FCS team. There is a sense of, come on guys, come on fellas, we need to get the ball rolling. We need to start throwing to our teammates instead of throwing to the other side. We have to get this rolling.
Fair enough. I suppose I could see that. And what are we looking at today, hopefully, to kind of break that streak?
Well, I'd say just overall, we're looking for offensive identity. We're looking for what is the quarterback situation going to look like after injuries to Devin Cardsman. And what is Kenny Burns' approach after going 0-4? He is now 1-1 against FCS opponents and is still looking for that elusive win against a MAC conference opponent. Against Eastern Michigan, we could totally see that, hopefully. These are two, I wouldn't say evenly matched up teams, but nevertheless, you never know what could happen in MACtion. MACtion is crazy, MACtion is wild, and well, let's get going. Good evening, Portage County. I'm Gage Wellman, and it has been an exciting time in the world of sports. Now, as my friends mentioned at the desk, this is Kent State's homecoming week. And with that comes the coveted football game. The Flashes will be taking on the Eastern Michigan Eagles at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. KSU football will look to turn its season around after dropping the first 4 games. And as I mentioned, Coach Kenny Burns will hope to lead his team to the first MAC victory in his tenure. The Kent State volleyball team lost last night to a nail-biter to the Eastern Michigan Eagles. The Flashes opened the game well by winning the first 2 sets before ultimately losing 3 consecutive sets. Junior outside hitter Mackenzie McGuire led the team with 19 kills, and junior libero Greta Bolognini led with 22 digs. The Flashes will look to bounce back tonight in a rematch with Eastern Michigan. Well, we had a classic rivalry matchup last night on Thursday Night Football. Them boys led by Dak Prescott, who, on a slip screen, he would find running back Rico Dowdle. There would be a flag on this play, but that wouldn't affect the Cowboys' stride as they would play from in front. Then, in the second quarter, Dak Prescott, he's going to find his star wideout, the man who makes the big bucks, that's C.J. Lamb. He's going to juke and shimmy his way into the end zone to put the Cowboys up 17-12. Then Daniel Jones, he's going to drop one of his Danny Dimes right to Malik Neighbors. Now this would just be a modest 10-yard gain on the play. However, the big news on this play, Micah Parsons, he would get a high ankle sprain and he would not return for the duration of this game. As you can see, he's going to labor off there. Then Daniel Jones, is he going to be the hero on this play? He fires a deep ball and it's intercepted. Amani Oriarowe. As the Cowboys are going to win this game 20-15, the Cowboys look to turn their season around after some early season struggles as the Giants keep on losing. Now, we spoke earlier on what's going on this weekend in college football, and folks, it is an exciting time to be a fan of America's best pastime, in my opinion. With over 4 ranked head-to-head matchups across the ACC, CSC, Big 12, and Big 10, if you're a fan of college ball, you are not going to leave your couch. Now, of course, the marquee matchup of Saturday's slate is a gauntlet between 2 SEC powerhouses, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. This weekend is sure to change the landscape of the entire season. And that's all the time we have for the wonderful world of sports. I've been Gage Wellman, and have a great weekend, Portage County.
How Kamala Harris hopes to reignite support for a bipartisan border bill through a special visit.
For the second time in U.S. history, a man was executed in Alabama using nitrogen gas. We will tell you just how uncommon this form of capital punishment is.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Late last night, a local Stanton Middle School student was arrested for violent threats against his school. He repeated this threat to his friend multiple times over text, who then reported it to the authorities. Police found no substantial preparation behind the threat, but closed the school for the day in favor of, quote, an abundance of caution, end quote. Police advise parents to discuss the seriousness of any threats in any context.
A man in Geauga County has been indicted on charges of identity fraud, prosecutors say. The man, named Asuncion Rivera, was indicted on 25 different charges after living in the U.S. as an illegal immigrant for years. Prosecutors say he had claimed over $25,000 in Medicaid benefits while also using a stolen identity to register to vote. Rivera is currently being held in the Geauga County Jail as he awaits a trial.
Mackenzie Sharilla has just been denied an appeal after being convicted of purposefully crashing her car and killing 2 men. She was 17 at the time of the incident. Police allege that she accelerated to around 100 miles per hour, and investigations into her vehicle indicate that she never applied the brake. She is currently sentenced to 13 more years in prison.
An Ohio detective tracked down a bail bondsman scammer who had been defrauding people across multiple states out of thousands of dollars. Detective Zach Clark out of Louisville, Ohio, picked up the case after a man by the name of Mikhail Vigodner pretended to be a bail bondsman, scamming local elderly couples out of $5,000, claiming their grandson was in jail. Clark traced Vigodner to New Jersey, where he was caught and extradited to Stark County Jail.
The Stark County grand jury has denied an indictment against Canton police officer Garrett Marino for the shooting of Zachary Fernash in December of last year. Calls were made to report Fernash for brandishing a weapon during an argument. When Officer Marino arrived, things escalated and Fernash was shot, which he would later die from. It was later revealed that the reported weapon was a pellet gun.
2 Ravenna men are filing a federal lawsuit against Portage County Sheriff Bruce Sikowski and 3 deputies as well, alleging civil rights violations at a traffic stop from August 2023. The 2 men were charged with felony drug trafficking and possession before the charges were dropped 2 months later due to the lack of evidence. This is the latest in a series of incidents after Sikowski made national headlines following Facebook comments directed at residents with Kamala Harris signs.
Property owners may be taken off guard by recent increases in their property taxes. Every 6 years, the government sends out updated valuations on properties across the state and adjusts taxes accordingly. The average valuation in Portage County went up by 33%, and in response, property taxes have increased by an average of 15.5%.
2 students at Avon Lake High School were arrested yesterday after allegedly posting threats of violence over social media. Their lockers and cars were searched, though no items linked to the threats were found. The school district sent out a letter to parents to report that the students were detained by federal authorities while also encouraging members of the community to report any concerns about student safety.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Emilio Hernandez, and today we're looking at some of the latest news in politics. Our first story features Vice President Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris plans to visit the border in Arizona today. According to Harris's campaign aides, the Vice President plans to use her trip to the U.S.-Mexico border to discuss her pitch to revive a bipartisan border bill that stalled in Congress earlier this year. The bill would have increased the number of Customs and Border Protection personnel, among other proposals. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that his country can win its ongoing war with Russia, but for that to happen, he needs assistance from the U.S. and its allies. This week, Zelensky has pleaded his case at the UN, Capitol Hill, and the White House. President Biden has directed the Pentagon to take the remaining security funding to give to Ukraine by the end of his term. Both presidential candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, have promised to continue to support Ukraine if they win November's election.
Tens of thousands of lives have been lost since Russian troops invaded Ukraine in February 2022.
We have to end this war. We need a just peace, and we must protect our people.
Thursday, the Biden administration announced a $2.4 billion aid package for Ukraine.
I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated for Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20.
Vice President Kamala Harris says she'll continue to support Ukraine if she succeeds President Joe Biden in November.
If we allow aggressors like Putin to take land with impunity, they keep going. And Putin could set his sights on Poland, the Baltic states, and other NATO allies.
Former president and current presidential candidate Donald Trump says if he wins the White House later this year, he will be able to ease the tensions between Russia and Ukraine.
I believe I will be able to make a deal between President Putin and President Zelensky quite quickly.
Trump didn't give specifics about a potential plan and wouldn't say if he believes Ukraine should cede some territory to Russia as a way to end the war.
It's not my fight, but it is a fight to save humanity.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
That's all the stories I have for you today, folks. For more stories like this, go to KentWire.com. I'm Emilio Hernandez, and thank you for watching. And here's Tyler with more.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. This is a special edition of our weather segment because it is my first time giving the people of Portage County their weather report. And it will also be my last time. So let's dive right into it. We're going to take a look right now at the currently in Kent. Right now we have a temperature of 69 degrees, humidity of 84%. We're going to have some rain throughout the night, so I highly recommend, you going out, take an umbrella. Or if you want to get your clothes wet, that's fine. That's your journey. Taking a look at the next couple of hours. Oh, here we go, our hourly forecast. Here we go. We have a 36% chance of rain at 7 p.m. Once we reach 10 p.m., the rain should sort of stop, so you don't need your umbrella and you will remain a little bit dry. Don't take me seriously, though. Weather can change. Weather can change. But we're hoping that it's still going to stay a little bit cloudy around 12 a.m. 8% chance of rain. Look at that, all right? We're decreasing going into homecoming. As you can see, the homecoming forecast is going to be a very cloudy day, but don't get scared. Don't look at the clouds and get scared because there is going to be no rain, all right? And it's going to be phenomenal football weather to look at the Kent State Flashes team and just watch them try. So that's all I have for you today. But don't go anywhere. I'll be back with some northeast and statewide temperatures.
Thank you, Lex. Unfortunately, renowned British actress Dame Maggie Smith has died at the age of 89. She's primarily known for her roles as Professor McGonagall in Harry Potter and Violet Crawley in Downton Abbey, but also has a decorated career and performance stretching back to the 60s. She passed away peacefully in the hospital. Her exact cause of death has not been published at this time.
Thousands have been displaced in Lebanon following an escalation in the conflict between Israel and the military group Hezbollah, with Lebanon's health minister calling the conflict a full-fledged war. Currently, the U.S. and its allies are pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in an effort to avoid a major conflict in the region.
The state of Alabama has used a nitrogen hypoxia execution for the second time in the nation's history in the case of Alan Miller, who was convicted for 3 murders. Officials claim the execution went exactly as expected. It should be noted this comes off the heels of Swiss police arresting individuals for the first use of a nitrogen gas-based assisted suicide pod just 2 days ago.
Hurricane Helene has been downgraded to a tropical storm as it makes its way up the east coast from the Florida Panhandle.
How Hurricane Helene is affecting temperatures right here in Ohio. Find out more after this break.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Come on, have a good time.
Plant seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic.
To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall.
And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Hurricane Helene has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Despite this, the natural disaster has been blamed for at least 7 deaths as it makes its way up the Florida Panhandle. Currently, Hurricane Helene is considered a Category 4 as officials begin efforts to relieve the affected areas. Well, as the tropical storm makes its way up the East Coast, I'd love to know if Northeast Ohio is going to be feeling its effects.
Well, thankfully, our very own Lex Rady is here to tell us what the weather is like around the state. Hi, Lex.
That's right, guys. Well, Hurricane Helene is really impacting the East Coast. Southern Ohio is also feeling the effects, specifically a lot of high winds and scattered showers. So right now we're going to take a look at the temperatures, which are being impacted a little bit by the storm. As you can see down here, it's just like 1 degree, 2 degrees, a little bit hotter. But, you know, the rain, it's coming to southeast or southwest and southeast Ohio. Cincinnati specifically has been seeing a lot of showers today. Athens, scattered storms. Columbus has been doing pretty good. Northeast Ohio, we've been seeing some clouds. We've been seeing some rain. We haven't been seeing a lot of storms or a lot of wind like the southern part of Ohio has. Going more into Northeast Ohio, okay, or our extended forecast, that's great too. Oh, and here we go, all right. We're taking a look at Northeast Ohio. So in Ashtabula, we got 73 degrees, Cleveland 73, Kent is at 68 degrees. We are just a little chilly today. You might want to take a sweater, might want to take a raincoat. You know, as I mentioned, there's just going to be a lot of rain. It's a rainy day for Ohioans everywhere. Sandusky's at 71, Mansfield 70. So there's just a general temperature of between, you know, 70s and 60s. Taking a look at our extended forecast. So like I said, tomorrow, not that much rain, just a lot of clouds, 20% chance in the evening, which is good. If you're going out, you might want to bring an umbrella with you just in case. Looking at Sunday though, 68% chance of rain. Thank goodness homecoming will be over by then. Rain's holding off for the flashes, hopefully. Monday, we're looking at a 61% chance, so we're still going to have some showers. Same with on Tuesday. Tuesday drops down to 58%. We are entering the fall season, folks. It is getting cozy. It's getting cold. Drink your hot Starbucks drinks. We're transitioning into the hot Starbucks drink season. Wednesday, 24% chance of rain. Starting to get sunny as we go into Thursday and Friday. We're going to see some less rain, which is good. And while Portage County and to my family who is watching in Columbus, that is all the time I have for you ever. So thank you so much for having me for one night and one night only. We'll take it back to the guys at the desk.
Well, thank you for that, Lex. Yet another fast food chain is offering a $1 item, and this one may cater more towards the sweet tooths of the world as well. And we'll tell you where to get it, too.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
I got you. Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
Oh! I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart, kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Well, another day, another dollar, as they say, and those with a sweet tooth can get a Wendy's Frosty for $1 George Washington. Till the end of September, Wendy's restaurants across the country are selling Frosties for just $1 in both chocolate and vanilla flavors. Anyone interested will need to act fast, as the end of the month is after Monday.
I want you guys to forget about your taste buds for just a moment, because the Asian Joro spiders are continuing their spread across the U.S. These black and yellow spiders can grow up to 4 inches in length and navigate by spinning a parachute web and taking to the skies. Luckily, they're not harmful to humans. Joro spiders were originally spotted in Georgia, have now made their way to Boston and Philadelphia, and will likely go as far as Pennsylvania and here in Ohio.
Well, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all of these stories and more, visit our website at KentWired.com and our socials at KentWired. I'm Tyler Schlosser.
And I'm Michael Neenan. Have a great night, Portage County.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase.